Welcome back to another episode in our web development process now. In today's episode, we're going to continue from where we left off. So this is exactly where we left off from the last time, but what we're going to do today now is to look at a few things. So we're going to start up with the entire browser screen here. So as you can see, we've got a white screen that is like the entire browser page, like the page of the browser is entirely filled with white. Now, how do we change this in Adobe Muse? Quite easy. You can see up here, we've got browser fill. I can just click this drop down here, this icon, and then I have a drop down screen for lots of colors. One, I could choose any color I want, and that straight up changes the screen. Any color you want, any color, and then that directly changes the screen. Now you could choose any color you want, or you could as well, maybe you found a very beautiful color somewhere, you could copy that and then paste that in here. Also, you have an eyedropper tool here, or a sampler tool here. You could just click anywhere on the screen and then maybe select a particular color you're interested in. So say I want this orange color. Good. So the sampler tool gives me an orange color. I want maybe this green of the Muse, and then I have this particular green, but we'll just go with the white as usual, but maybe just to make it a little gray. Oh, it's and down a bit. Yeah, I think that's fine. So this is the color we have, but also you could, maybe you have an image you want to use as your the background or the browser fill of your website. You could just click on the browser fill itself, so the writing browser fill, you could click on that, and then you have other options available to you. Now we have here fill and scroll. We're going to take a look at the fill and then scroll in a later video. So fill, we have here gradient. As you can see, gradients, we have two different colors that we can combine to make our screen look, or our background look, more beautiful. So we can see down here we have black, and then up about here we have a white color. Now we could change this horizontally or vertically. So as you can see, it changes as we changes the direction of the gradient. The colors as well, same thing. You could go with any color, yellow and then black, or maybe you want a yellow and a white, and you want it to be horizontal. So we have yellow on one part of the screen and then a white on the other side of the screen. So that is for the gradients. And then solid, we just have a solid yellow, a solid red, a solid green, a blue. So any color you want, you could just choose that from here. But as you can see, we don't want these colors, so I'll just stick to the white. As you can see, we also have image here. Now this is what we're looking for. You could use an image as well to fill your browser page or to fill your browser. Now be mindful that these images also adds up to the loading time of your website. So if you pick an image that is that has a larger file, let's say it's maybe 10 megabyte image, or maybe 20 megabyte image, you realize that that could be more, and then that could weigh on the loading time of your web page. So be mindful of the kind of images you use for your website. So here we're going to go on ahead and then just click on add image. So I have some few images here. I will try them out, but first I have mountain here. I'm going to use that, and then I'll allow Adobe Muse to import that and then use it as our background. Okay, so there we go. We have that on our entire page. So if I scroll left, right, if I scroll left, I have the image of this mountain filling my entire page. So the entire page is just filled with this mountain. Now there's also option to scale. So fitten, I have scale to fill, and then that just fills the entire page. But I can also make scale to fit. Now you realize this is just portions. It doesn't fill the external size of, as you can see back here, it doesn't fill the external size of the web page. I could also here, good, original size, that is very big, so it's even way bigger. This is just a little part of the entire image. And then tile horizontal, tile vertical, that is if your images are that small and then you want them to tile up like vertically, horizontally, as you wish. But I just wanted to scale to fill. And then scroll in. Oh, okay, you could just leave that on. So we have our image here, and as you can see, it's covered the entire page of our browser. Now what we're going to go on ahead and do is, as you can see, this image is very bright and I want to make it a bit darker. So how do I do that? Well, I could just go to the right here, and then I have, oh, the left, sorry, I have a rectangle tool on the left. A rectangle tool on the left. I could just click on that, come to my screen, and then as you can see, I'm allowed to draw any rectangle I wish. Maybe a triangle, oh sorry, not a triangle, a rectangle, or yeah, a rectangle, a square. I could draw any of these shapes if I wish to. So I could draw that, but that's not exactly what I want to do. This is too small, so I'm just going to get rid of that, hit delete, and then get rid of that. Select that again, and then I want to make the image a bit darker. So what I'll do is put this over. So I'm going to draw this over the, not the entire page, but then the page that I wish to cover. And I'll take this up a bit. Maybe right about here. Okay, so I have this rectangle drawn over the picture, but not the entire picture. So what we could go on ahead and do is, we have fill here. I'm going to click on the fill, and then I'm going to choose a black color. So as you can see, I have covered just part of the page, like the main page itself. This page, this sides that are visible are, yeah, part of the page, but they are not really important to us now. We'll take a look at those later. So I've just covered part of the page here, and then what I'm going to do is, I can see the picture behind it. So what I need to do now is just go to effects here to reduce the opacity. So as you can see, I take this down and it's gone. Bring this up, it's way dark. So I want to see this image still. So I'm just going to keep that at 80. Okay. So this is what we have got now. But we can go on ahead. We have a preview here. I'm going to preview this. So export, and then allow us to preview to see what we've done by far. So that's taken a little time. We're just going to let it finish and do its thing. Okay, great. So this is what we have here, and then this is just the black side. This is the other sides, like the edges of our browser. So we're just going to leave that. If you also wish, you could cover it if you want. So I'm going to make a few more changes. Drag this black, take it up a bit, let it cover from the top. So here from the top of the page, I'll drag this up about here, and then maybe let's try this out. Close that, and as well drag this side over and close it. Now we still have a little page down here. We could leave that if we wish. Yes, but I want to leave that. And then I'm going to go back, hit preview again. And as you can see, our entire page is covered, leaving just this little page down there, just this little portion of the screen down there, but our entire page is fully covered. So to make it more attractive, I think we will just cover the entire Okay, so there we go. We have our entire page covered, and voila. Okay, so we need to make this perfect. As we can see down here, we still have a little more pages showing up. So I'm going to hold this. So we have here two good. We have here the bottom of browser. We can drag these to adjust that, and then we have this one as well. Good. So we could drag to either bring it down or take it up just to adjust it. And then let's go back again, preview, and then we still have a little, but we could just ignore that for tutorial purposes, and then just go on ahead to what we've got next. So next off, I think I like the way this looks and feel. Next off, I want to import or bring in our menus. As you can see, when we go back to website 1, great, we have here the home page, about, services, contact. These are all different pages. So we're going to import this onto our main page and then make them the menus as usual, as we see on different websites that have like different tabs for menus. You could switch tabs and then go to different places. So that's exactly what we want to do. But also, let's take a look at the masters here. We have here master A. As you can see, we were only making changes to master A or A master here. This is the change where we made changes, but we were able to affect home page and then the about page. Now we don't want this change to be on the about page, so what we're going to do is you can just drag master B master over about, and that is gone. Maybe we want this change to be on services. We could just put that here, and then we have that over the services page. But if we don't want it, then we have to drag B master over the pages. So we'll go back to our A master and then drag the menu. So here Adobe Muse has got itself some widgets. So we'll go to the widget library on the right here, and as you can see, we have buttons, compositions, forms, menus. That's exactly what we want. Now we have a horizontal menu or a vertical menu, depending on what you want to do. I'm going to go for a horizontal menu. All I need to do is click, drag, and then drop it anywhere I want to. Good. So you can see we have some few options here that allows us to edit the menus. What we're going to do now is we have, okay, menu type, top level pages, direction is horizontal. Now, do you want to edit them together? Yes, we'll leave them as that. Then the size. Now let's take a look at this. I'm going to do on uniform spacing, and as you can see, some of them, the outer boxes or the outer rectangles are almost the same, but the spacing are a bit different. We have uniform size, and then everything is perfectly aligned. Everything is just the same thing. Now we could also show icons. If we've got some icons we want to show, we could show them there, but I don't want to show any icons. Show labels, of course. If we take those off, well, we have nothing. So show labels, and then show right icon, sub menu only. Okay, so I could turn this on, and then what's going to happen is if I have got sub menus for any of these pages, well, for instance, on the contact page, maybe I can have contact the manager, contact the director on different pages. Well, I could just put this right icon on, just turn it on for the sub menus, and then yes, I could have an icon on this page showing that there are other pages here, you could check them out, or just do sub menus only. So with pages that have sub menus beneath them, they are going to have an icon or an arrow just right beside them showing that, okay, there are lots more pages over here. So we could just take a look at that. So here, as you can see, there's no icon on the right or on the left, but what we could do now is just go back here, and then for services, I want to put some, good, I want to put some, okay, maybe get rid of this instead, put it about here. Good. So now I have two different pages or two sub menus beneath the services page. Okay, Services is attached to B master. Well, let's just go back to A master and then see how that's going to work out. Now we just go back, preview. Okay, so this is just what we have. Oh, okay, this is exactly what we have now. Doesn't look too good. So we just go back to A master, hit on this again, hit on the arrow down here. Now we have show right icon, submenus only. I'm going to turn that on, then turn this on again. Close that and then hit preview. Okay, so let's just leave that as it is. You could also preview in a web browser if you think that is an option that you'll be okay with. You could preview in a web browser. We'll just take a look at that in a bit. So I'm just going to leave this submenus, turn it on. Good. And then let's try previewing it again. Awesome. So we have these icons here, but as I said, it would be better to preview them in a web browser. That makes it like allows you to see everything clearly as you developing them. So we'll just skip that. Well, actually, let me just turn this off for now, and then we'll deal with that later. All right, so this is it. This is what we've got now. But what happens? I don't want these gray backgrounds, or maybe the text. Actually, I don't want this. Maybe I want a particular text, like this text. I don't know. That's the Georgia font. I don't want this font. I can just come up here. So double click. Make sure you are clicking right on the text in the gray boxes. So I have a Georgia here. I want I think I usually use Roboto. Okay, I have Roboto here. Perfect. And let's go with I think a light will do. Okay, so a Roboto light. And do I want it to be bold? Yes, it's bold. What's the font size? You could go up or down. So 14. Italics, yes. Underlined, yes. Any option you wish. Well, you have a lot of options here to choose from. So we've got our Roboto font, and then I think I'll just make this a bit smaller. Okay, 13 it's fine for me. And then you could just make it as big or as small as you wish, but I think 13 is okay for me. And now I'm going to get out of that. Click on any of the boxes. So remember, we are editing them together right here. Good. So edit together. This box, once this box is checked, any change I make to one of them affects the entire menu. So it's easier that way if you want to make changes. So I'm going to click on one of these, and then the fill. Well, I don't want any fill as usual. If I change this, I can see the colors changing, or you can see the colors changing, but I don't want it to have any color. So I'll just go with no fill. And then do I want a stroke? Let's take a stroke here. So we have 10, as you can see. This is just one. Hit that. Let's hit preview and take a look at the stroke. That is just a kind of, yeah, exactly. So that's just what it is, a box just surrounding the entire menu. So we can just get rid of that, as I don't see the need for that. Get rid of it. And so now we just have the menu here, preview. Good. We just have where standing out on the all that, yeah, standing out on their own, and there's nothing more happening. Okay. So I'm just going to hold this, click out, drag this a little bit to, good, to the right, and then open that up. Maybe close it a little, just making sure it's all to the right. I think it looks beautiful that way. So we'll go preview, and there you go. We have our menu on the far right side of our screen of our browser. So that is looking kind of okay. But as you can see, if I hover or if I put my mouse on any of the menu here, you can see we have some gray boxes just hovering around them, some gray boxes moving around them. Well, what can we do if we want to change this gray? We don't want a gray. If we want to change it to maybe a different color, what can we do? Well, we could always go back to our master A. Sorry, A master. Why do I keep calling? So we could always go back to our A master, select one of them, and as you can see, we have here menu item set to normal. You can click on the normal, and here we have options, roll over, mouse down, and then active. Okay, let's see what this actually means. So a rollover, as I did earlier, so a rollover here, as you can see, if I move my mouse over this menu items, its color turns gray, or it has a background color of gray. Now I could maybe make it say a black, so we could use a black, or maybe a different color, any color as you wish, but you could change it to any color, and then maybe add a little effect to it, maybe change the opacity. Let's drag this down a bit to a 30. Okay, now we have a 30, and then we can preview that. So good, as you can see. So once we hover over it, we have a gray background hovering about it. Oh, sorry, not a gray, a black background, but with a little more opacity. So we can still go back. Changes depend on whatever you want to make it. So I will just go back to my item here, roll over, and then set this to a 30 is fine. Also, we could as you can see, it's a rectangle. What we can do is we can make the edges a bit curved. So we have here 20. Let's preview that. So if I hover, okay, now we're getting something. If I hover over it, you can see the edges are no longer that sharp, they are now curved. So we have some curved edges over here. That makes it look a little more cute, I think. And then I can go back to my A master as usual. So it's very good to always preview just to see the changes you have made. If you think you really need that, or you think it's very important that you do that, well, you can. Also, remember we are on the rollover. Now, when we're on the rollover, we have here the text is still Georgia. Well, I don't want it to be Georgia. I still want it to be Roberto. So one change affects the entire. So that is a very good feature here in Adobe Muse. So you could preview that and then just get on with it. Also, what changes we could make is active. So, and what active means is when I click on this tab, or when I click on this menu item. Example, I'm now on the home page, so the home tab is active. What happens if it's active? Okay, well, I want it to have, as usual, a black, and then I'll make the opacity, instead of a 30, we'll go with a 40, like more thicker. Great, so we'll go with a 40. And the text, how do I want the text to be? Well, at the moment I have Roberto light. I don't want it to be light, I want it to be bold when it's active. So I'll go back to my fonts. I'll go up. Oh, recently used fonts, it's up here. And we have Roberto sample. We have Roberto light. Okay, so the size as usual, yeah, okay. So we could leave the size as it is, but I want to change this text to bold. There we go. Okay, so now let's preview that. Awesome. So scroll over. Is the way they are. We click on the home, and as you can see, home is now bolder. Like the home lettering are now thicker than the rest of the menu items. But as you can see, it's still a square, so we need to go back and then make that change. So what happens, we need to go back again, active, and then we have here, good, that's a 10. Preview, click on the home. Once home is active, okay, yeah, so there's a little difference in the hover background. So we just go back, and then let's see, okay, what was, oh, it was 20. So you can go back to active. Here, can double click on this, hit 20 for the corner radius, and preview again. So lots of previewing going on here. Click on home, and as you can see, so once the home page is active, well, we have it has a background tab here, a black background that makes it pops out a little more. So that is with the menus. I think it's looking beautiful now. We're good to go, so we can continue. Okay, so there we have it. Now a little more design, we can just go down and then continue with our designs. So hope to see you in the next video. Stick around, and bye.